Give recommendations and all that. But it was never focused on restaurants per se. And then if
Yeah.
you look at, say, Uber Eats or as a platform, like Uber Eats came at this from, hey, we have a fleet of, cars, vehicles on the road, and
Yeah.
there's excess capacity. What else can we do with that? So what Trofimo saw as the, space that was lacking, and we did a lot of user research around that, is if you look at the dining space today, there's nothing really that takes the user and centralizes the user and says, you know what, okay, this is Kendra. Kendra happens to have a gluten allergy. And so
Yeah.
dining is a very, very challenging thing for her. Finding restaurants, finding dishes is a challenge. And anytime she gets it wrong, it could cost her,
Yeah.
a lot of headaches and medical issues. So we centralize
Yeah.
the user, and we've built a platform that gets to know, let's take Kendra as a persona, gets to know Kendra and builds, with the knowledge of what Kendra likes, what her dietary restrictions and preferences are, and then
Yeah.
another graph of what is the available dining options around her, whether she's in New York or Chicago or Seattle. And then we're able to build a curated list for her anywhere she goes. And also, because it's not just about the reason why it's such a hard problem is because it's a very fast moving space where restaurants come and go, menus change, they're seasonal, and so it's very hard to ever have a complete graph of what is being offered around Kendra as a persona at any point in time. So the other piece of the puzzle is to have a tribe. Kendra's tribe in this particular scenario are other gluten-free diners. And so Trofimo integrates a social graph where if
Wow.
Kendra is in Ballard, as an example, and there are other people in Ballard that are gluten-free, and they happen to know Ballard way better than any one of us ever could. So they're, the list they've created, the knowledge that they have becomes tribal knowledge that Kendra can lean on, and we provide that through the app so that Kendra can dine confidently around Ballard, almost like she'll lived there all her life, because we bring that information to her, to our consciousness. And so that
Wow.
is the whole premise. And of course, everybody has their dining tribe. If you like happy hours, or you like,
Yeah.
POC owned dining, or you like fine dining, whatever your tribe is, Trofimo builds that around you, and so curates content for you as you go. And so that's really the
Wow.
long and short of what we're trying to build in the space.
Man, that sounds amazing.
Thank you.
That sounds really, really cool. And especially as somebody as myself like to like try different experiences, I definitely understand what you mean. That's kind of a process.
Yes.
So it would be really cool to just build a profile and then just have like the app do it for me. So it's like I can just get to a new place and boom, I already have access. I know which way to go, what not to, what to try.
Exactly.
It's really, really cool,
Exactly.
man.
I mean, it's one of the things I love. I love traveling, and my biggest thing is, you travel and you just get lost in the haze of, okay, where am I going today, and what am I going to have, and then, it's just really confusing. But when you have this, we call it your personal curator, that's telling you,
Oh, that's
Ali,
cool.
you will like this, and because, for example, let's say Ray is connected to me, and he's been to, say, Dubai before. When I go to Dubai, I don't need to discover Dubai all, anew. I just,
Oh,
the app
that's
tells me,
it.
yeah, your friend Ray liked this place. And I go like, oh, okay, Ray and I have the same taste. And so it's picking and curating things for me, both my own knowledge as well as my friends' social circles knowledge as well.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Wow, that's really cool, man. If you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
I was born and raised in Nigeria, and I moved to the States about that's 2002, about 20 some years ago now. So
Oh wow, that's pretty cool, man. I'm originally from South Africa, so I
oh,
it's
all
really
right.
cool. Yeah, yeah, that's really really cool, man. Traveling is in our DNA, right? It's
I
just
tell you, I love traveling. I
Eh,
cannot not travel.
yeah, that's so cool, man. That's really really cool. And thank you so much for joining us and sharing about your project.
Thank you.
I would love to dive deeper into your project. I just want to make sure that I get through everybody in the
Oh yeah,
room.
please.
So yeah, no, we'll come right back. While it's a really really that's a solid idea. I really
Thank
really like
you.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So next, Chris, if you can hear us,
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yep.
yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so my name's Chris. I'm in the pre-planning stages, I think, of mapping out some business ideas for myself, and currently have a background in security and social work in university. And I'm really just here today to be kind of a fly on the wall and learn as much as I can about some of the hours and expectations and things like that go into kind of creating and starting from scratch, essentially. So that's me in a nutshell.
That's awesome. So that you said that you're in the pre-planning stage,
Mhm.
so getting the creative juices going and trying to validate the idea and get
Yeah,
started. Okay, that's
exactly.
pretty cool.
Trying
That's pretty cool.
to put myself around like-minded people just to kind of get an idea of what the space looks like, what some of the other challenges people have encountered at my phase in the game, and just learn new things.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, you've come to the right place. We put together these. We're opening our doors up to Softworks so that we meet people such as yourself and Wale that we can come together. We can help as much as we can, right? Share our stories, share maybe tactics, maybe even go in deeper and really help you like formulate your idea. Pass along what we know and what we've learned, in hopes to get you expedited. So. I think this is the perfect space for that. So yeah, if you have any questions and any questions, literally from anything from forming a C corp all the way down to like publishing your project, all of it. We really, really want to help as much as possible. So this is really, really cool. Where are you based?
I'm in Calgary, Alberta.
Alberta. Nice. My brother-in-law's brother is there, actually.
Oh,
That's
that's
cool.
great.
Yeah, he's like, you gotta come check it out. I'm like, okay.
And so
uh,
where are you based out of? Sorry, I didn't catch that at the beginning.
yeah, no problem. I am personally in San Francisco,
Oh,
Bay
nice.
Area.
Okay.
Yeah. Ray, you're in Florida, right?
Nice.
Orlando.
That's awesome. Well, we have some decent weather here right now, so I'm
That's
envious of
awesome.
the nice weather that you guys always are able to enjoy year round. We only get it for about 2 or 3 months out of the year, so.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, it's funny because right now it's just unbearably hot. Um, and like the AC is like full blast. Like you step outside, you're gonna melt. You're literally just so hot, man. It's crazy. And this is Northern Cal, not even Southern Cal. I can't even imagine what that feels like. Probably Ray will be able to tell you, but it's just so hot, man.
Oh wow, crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we get the other end of the spectrum when it's minus 30 and stuff here. So I don't know, man. I think I'd still
Wow.
take the heat.
No, Christopher. I can tell you, you don't want to say that. Trust me, until you go to Dubai, go to Dubai in the summer and then make up your mind about that. I promise you, you might change it.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's true. Our countries are so hot, man.
Oh
Oh
no.
my God. I went to one time I had a layover in Sudan and we landed. Oh my God, it was so hot, man. It just
Crazy.
whoo, it
Oh,
was intense.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was intense. Stepping out the plane, I thought it was the heat coming from the engines, but no, that was the atmosphere. I was like, what?
I
It's
thought I
just
landed in hell. I was gonna run
I
back.
know
This is
it's
insane.
crazy. It's like and then they just sit there and they smile, you know, and you're just like, wow, how are you taking this? It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, I'd love to tell you guys a little more about myself, just so you know, to clear the vagueness. My name is Ali, CEO of Softworks. I've been in the startup space for a little more than a decade now. I've been in the software game for like 15 years. So that's what I've been focusing on. A couple of years ago, around 2020, a little more than, like 2021. 2019, I sold my previous venture. I used to live in Washington, D.C. I got tired of the politics. I wanted to be closer to the tech space, so I shifted over to Silicon Valley and in 2020. And so in 2021, I decided to kickstart Softworks, the startup. And ever since then, just been learning about the various things. It's funny because even though I've been in the startup game for so long, I can affirmatively say that in the last 3 years, I probably learned and did more than I did in the last 7+ years. I've had the freedom to experiment, to try different things, different products, different execution styles and things like that. And then eventually we settled on the flagship project that we're building right now with the team, Ray, Mahesh, and a few other members. And so our focus right now for that product is to accelerate the world's transition to financial freedom. So we're doing that through AI, education, and community. And so the product is still in its early phases. We barely just kickstarted the test flight build, which is only private access. So if you were to go through the website, you were able to just sign up for the wait list. We haven't opened it up to the general public yet. So that's us. That's me in a nutshell. That's us in a nutshell. We recently started doing these community meetups just to connect with other founders, because we know how lonely it gets. We know how many questions that there's just constantly boiling. Whether it's where do I start? What platforms? What features? How do I validate my idea? How do I get funding? So we had all these questions, and we're having a conversation with Ray, and he was saying, let's just open up our doors and let people in. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. And so this is the second week, right, Ray? The second week of trying this out, like officially. Yeah, it was officially. So and I want you guys to think of us as your extended resources, right? If you guys have questions, just please shoot us a message in any of our social handles. But if you wanted something a bit more direct, a bit more granular, we can do that as well. You can say, hey, Ali, do you know any investors that might be interested in this, or do you know any people that can help me build this, or I'm looking for a CTO. And we extend those services as well. Be like, no problem, let me see who I can connect you with. Because one of the things that I personally found when I moved to Silicon Valley was just how gatekeepy majority of the people are in this industry. It's really weird. It's like they know something and you either have to pay an exorbitant price, or you just have to dig deep and fight for months and eventually get somebody's name, which is just that's ridiculous. I'm like, dude, if you need help, I'll connect you with whoever I know, and if they can help you, amazing. If they can't, then I tried, right? But yeah, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask.
So I'll start off, not a question per se, but I gotta say thank you for doing this, because that's totally altruistic in a way, and like you said, it's such a tough uphill climb at the beginning, and so just being able to even get someone talking through their experience, that's super useful. But even better, being able to ask questions and have a two-way conversation, and then have a community around that's just gold. So
thank you. Thank you so much, Wale. Thank you so much. I'm really glad that we can connect, and we can help in any way possible. If we can unlock you and you can go to the next step, I'm happy. You know what I mean? That's all. I'm like, okay, awesome. Successful day. I'm done. Let's go. It's just, that's what I want to do. I'm just with all due respect, guys, I speak freely. I got so fed up, man. I got
Yeah.
so fed up, you know. I've been trying, like, so right now we just kickstarted the fundraising process for Paradoxically. This is the flagship project we're working on right now, and it shouldn't be this difficult to just have a conversation with somebody. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. It's like, I always think, I'm like, imagine you go into the bank, like the bank, and the clerk just keeps pushing you away, you know? Oh, come back tomorrow. Oh, you know what? In about 2 weeks, I'm going to go on vacation. How about you hit me up in like 6 weeks? Oh, you know what? No, I need my money right now. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, you know, it's not like you're just talking to some casual person. I mean, I feel like the very fact that you're a founder, you should already be priority, right? Like, hey, here's somebody who's willing to sacrifice everything they have, you know, daytime, whatever. They work around the clock to build something. Help them out. You know what I mean? Even if you don't want to help them out, tell them, hey, this project is not for me, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Don't just keep pushing it, and then, you know, raising hopes and things like that. And so I got fed up. I was like, you know what? We gotta help. We gotta do whatever we know, whatever we can. You know, we'll distribute. You know what I mean? I want to change that. I really want to change that. It's really bad, you know, and we need to look at it as a collaboration, not competition.
I love
you
it.
know?
Totally.
Like,
Totally.
how can, right? And so, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Wally, how far are you on your project?
So, you know, that's been one of the things that I'm, you know, again, I'd love for feedback and all that. But one of the things I took as an early decision was, and just because I'd also seen other people go through the startup journey, and I said to myself, okay, if one thing gives, right? If you're going to spend time raising money, it's time that you're not going to spend working on your project. It's really one of the things I've found in the space is, especially when you're starting out. And so I took an early decision that, look, I'm going to bootstrap all the way to market. I'm going to gain traction as best as I can. And then I'll focus my energy, you know, on, you know, bootstrapping. And there was another reason, selfish in quote, reason behind that, which was once you take money, there's a bit of pressure. There's a bit of, you know, he who pays the piper dictates the tune as well. And I had a vision that I was, you know, sort of very clear about. And I knew that, you know, if I take money, then I'm, you know, putting myself under that pressure to change that vision to, you know, ensure that I'm being, what's it called? Responsible to, you know, in quote, people who have put in money in there and trying to cash out that money, or at least make good on that money. And so I bootstrapped Trofimo for the past 3 years till now, where we're about to launch. It's going to happen in July. And, you know, at least I'm now very sure that, look, I've built a vision that I totally, you know, I'm passionate about. I totally believe in. And, you know, the market, of course, is going to be the great decider. So we're at this stage now where, okay, it's going to hit the market, and we're launching in Seattle, and the money is really to help scale out to other cities. It has to be international for it to make sense the way the vision goes, because people, you know, it's a global village today. So that money is really to help as we validate in Seattle to start scaling out to the rest of the world and big cities around the world.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it just, for some reason, it just froze. Yeah, that makes so much sense. You want to start local. Your go-to-market strategy sounds sound. Like you want to dominate one region, one space for a little bit, and just grow. So I just want to make sure I caught that right. So you're sort of bootstrapping right now? You said you're not.
I did.
Want to reach
I bootstrapped all the way to, you know, getting the product ready for launch, and, you know, it's built. It's a mobile app. So the vision is actually it's a suite of product, but the first and most important product is the on the consumer end. So the user. There are other products that we're going to build down the line, but those will come in only after we've built the user base. There's going to be a product for restaurant interfaces to allow them, you know, if you one of the best ways to sort of explain this to folks is if you think of what Starbucks did with their Starbucks app that allows them to get all of this analytics about what people, you know, want, when are they ordering. And so wherever you go in the world, if you have the Starbucks app, then it's able to, you know, push or let you know where to get your, favorite drink and what time of the day you get that drink and so on. So there's a lot of back-end knowledge that they have because they know you and because they know the restaurant graph. And so what Sofimo is building as well is something similar, but we're not going to build the restaurant backend or the restaurant interface unless we've built that user base. So that's the first part of the journey. And like you said, one of the best advice I got and I took to heart was, Wally, nail it before you scale it. So that's the this is the part.
Can you please turn that into a shirt? I will buy one. Please, bro. Turn it into a shirt. That's amazing. I never heard that before.
Oh, it was
awesome.
golden. I heard it. I'm like,
daily before you scale it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So I won't take the credit for focusing on Seattle and a particular region. It was really, I learned that from early on and said, yep, make sure because it's really, when you look at many of the successful ventures out there, they adopted use this concept where if you scale out too fast, then you're doubling down on the mistakes that you would have learned from when you're in the nailing stage. And if you're validating at a very small scale and then you start extending that as you grow, you're making your success grow with you. And it's been the best decision I took, and I'm glad for that. I wish we went faster.
That's true. Say what?
I said, I wish you went faster on this, but at least like there's a road to market, and we're going into market.
Man, Wally, it sounds like you're doing all the right things. I was just having a conversation this morning with a guy that does this for a living. He strategizes with startups to help them figure out what the granular details look like in order to build something, right?
Yeah.
And you literally everything you just said, he was saying the very same thing, like taking that step by step, figuring out, like, he's like, if you look at, he said it in a nice way. He said, like, you as a startup, your goal is to go from 0 to 1. I'm like, yes. He's like, but you can zoom in and look at what it takes to get from 0 to 0.1, exactly. And say, okay, take that step first and then go to 0.2 and then take that step, right? And just cycle and iterate. So you're on the money. It's really awesome, man. Do you have like a landing page or a website or something?
Yes, I do. If you go to
please drop it in the chat.
Will do.
That's amazing. Dude, that's exciting, man. That's really,
and it's one of the
cool.
things, when you guys talked at the beginning about things you can share. I'll tell you how I got my landing page, because in the midst of so many things to do, and I hope Christopher will find this useful. Where you're trying to things I never had to think about at Microsoft, right?
True.
Even little things, right? Creating what's called the registering the business and all that. When you think about, oh wait, how do I build a website that's attractive? And I ran into this company,
right?
Mixo, Mixo. And what Mixo does is you just give it a sentence or two, and I know this is a free plugin for Mixo, and it just creates using AI a website for you. And that's honestly, if you guys take a look at the website I'm putting up right now, that's exactly how we got that website. I'm like, okay, that serves the purpose for now. I'm not going to spend any more time on this, and this totally works because it just communicates the concept, well enough that when the time comes, when we're doing the whole branding exercise, that's another thing I learned enough to delay and know that, hey, brand, someone said, Wally, branding will come. Your branding will change based on how
that's true.
You, so don't focus so much on branding right now. So it's
that's true.
It's been a very interesting learning phase and journey. I really, really can write a book, but I am like that. Not on the top of my list right now.
That would be an interesting book to read, I will say. I'll admit. Because it sounds like a rich story. I'm looking at your landing page right now. Dinery is a nice name. I really like it. Even the way it's spelled, it's pretty cool. Stands out. I know, same here.
Yeah, so you guys rock. Thank you.
Hell yeah, we got you, bro. We not just talk, man. We walk the walk too, right?
Thank you, guys. And it's really, our what we call our early evangelists, our foodies.
Smart. Yeah. Your key audience.
So totally, those are the people that we know will ride and die with us at the very beginning. They will forgive some of the them because they believe in the vision. But
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that when it comes out, and you guys will figure out your startup guys, so you'll figure out where you fit in the adoption curve. Whether okay, well, this might be too early for me. I'm not in the Gen Z crowd that you're targeting, or this works very well. What is
Man, when it comes,
yeah.
I can, I can speak for myself here, right? Of course, Wayne, whenever, when you want, but I can tell for myself, I like the very beginning of everything. So if it doesn't work or it doesn't work, I'll try it anyways. I'll try it anyways.
Thank you. Yeah, one of the things I actually found out from this journey is that yeah, definitely your evangelists are there, but never rule out those that you wouldn't consider. So even though we're targeting Gen Z, I get surprised by the response I get when I talk to even baby boomers about oh yeah,
true. The outliers,
they
right?
outliers. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
the
okay, you know
outliers.
what? We're not building this for you, but I'm not going to say that anywhere on my website. But this is actually, if you feel like this is, works for you, then we're happy to have you.
Yeah, oh man, that's really, really cool. That's really, really cool. Are you planning to raise funds for it at any point?
Yes, so that's one of the reasons why I started. Okay, I've been in this what's it called, underground mode for the past stealth mode for the past 3 years, and now
Wow, you got
I know,
patience.
I know. But now that we're getting to market, like I said, one of the things that I am worried about, and I didn't raise this concern about this being on YouTube, and I'll be very upfront about it. Is we have some things that we believe are patentable, and we're filing those patents. But again,
Nice.
that takes funds to do, and so we want to make sure we do file that before we get public, and that's part of the reason why we're in stealth mode. Because what worries us is if some of the players in the space right now, take this up, and we haven't built our moat yet. Our moat is really going to be the user and the user content that we will have that will be very unique to Trofino. But before then, we just want to make sure that when we raise funds, the first thing we do is just file a provisional patent so that we're able to at least safeguard ourselves from other big and more with more funds players in the space with more we have. So that's the thing that we're just being careful about as we talk about we get out of the gates.
That's really smart. That's really, really smart. And you're basically allowing yourself a little bit of free time, right?
Yes.
Sort of like, yeah, that is true. That's good. That's really good.
So our reason to answer your question is starting where we're going to start up raising our funding raise, and this will be the first time we're taking money, so it's going to be a safe. We're starting that in July, so right after the July 4th holidays, we're going to open that up.
Oh, right after the July, so right after this weekend?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys, that's one of the
that's awesome.
I had for you guys was I just want to know one of the things I've learned as well, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that, you and Ray's, and anyone else who has any thoughts on that is I've always at least before I jumped into the startup world, I've heard that look, not all money is good money, and so knowing the right investors that are that don't just bring money but also other things to the table, and that are bought into your vision and will contribute to that rather than try to subtract from it. So I'm looking for the right places to go about fundraising that will not sacrifice or take from all the work that we've put in and helps enhance it rather than just folks that are a good buck or just people that are more savage in the fundraising space today.
No, that's really, really cool. Ray, did you want to weigh in? I don't want to be disrespectful and talk over you all the time, so I just want to give you that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. I have questions for you because um, since it's happening right now, this is
Yes,
really sick. Congratulations,
thank you.
you've done amazing. Just to be able to sit in quiet for 3 years is already an amazing feat in itself. So if it's okay with you, I kind of want to talk to you as if it's kind of like a VC conversation.
Totally.
Um, so how many users do you have right now, both signed and active?
So because we're not yet available in the App Store, we don't have any users
Active.
currently. We
Okay.
active users, but we did run a private beta where we had 100 users just to again kick the tires, and part of that helped us to pivot sometime in the middle of last year. There were some things that
Nice.
had gotten wrong and we had to go fix.
Okay. That's good. Okay. So 100 is perfect. It's in that range where you're looking at angel investment, angel slash pre-seed, right?
That's correct. Angel/BC, you got it.
Okay. That's amazing. How many co-founders do you have?
So I'm the sole founder, but I have other, what's it called now? Folks that are not working full time because again, I can't afford to pay anyone full time right now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Will
Yeah.
come on board once I get funding. And so there are
Okay.
three. One is the CTO capacity,
Nice.
and the other one is just an advisor that's I'm looking at for the operational part of this, which will be very important. So part of the rollout is as we start building the user base, we also we need to start engaging with restaurant owners and vendors. Um, Even though you will, as a restaurant, be on the platform, by default, but the
Yeah.
tight end integration, whereby we can now pass on, dining information and analytics and other things to you, are things that happen when we've integrated tightly with you on the back end.
Okay. Perfect. So your team is pending.
That's correct.
They're ready just to sign for investment. Have you thought about offering equity? Because I know for a fact that VCs are going to ask you that.
Yes, and that's a yes on both. Again, when I started out, I learned quickly that if I had offered equity at that point in time, I would have or rather I did offer equity to some folks, and then when I was ready to leave my full-time gig and go full-time on this, because there was just no other way to do this successfully,
Yeah, yeah, I
we're
agree.
not ready to make that jump. And so I had to change the equity back into a milestone-based equity, and only one of them was able to successfully at least get to that milestone that we needed.
I think just the very fact that you answered it that way is perfect, because you're showing them like that. Hey, look, I've tried this. I'm willing to sacrifice, but at the same time, I'm not willing to just getting married in a
That's
way
what I've
because
heard.
yeah, it's you're with that person. That's it for as long as be together to do. I find it really stupid with all due respect, because how on earth do you expect somebody to quit their and to
Yeah,
go in full time, and then they're like, oh, why didn't you build a team? Well, excuse my French, but it's like, motherfucker, I built it. How am I not gonna pay?
exactly.
How am I gonna do this? And they're like, go back and do this. I'm like, how about you go back? How about you give
Exactly.
me and you build a team with no money? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I get so I'm so sorry for getting heated, guys. Like it gets me so heated, because it's like the requirements, the things they make you jump through, they will never jump through,
That is
and it
very,
doesn't make sense.
that
So
is
for
very,
you to answer that, you're kind of like really, really professionally pushing back, saying,
yes,
no, I tried this, this didn't work, this is the outcome. I still built it. This is where we're at,
yes,
and
thank you.
that's really, really good. So I think maybe we can help you out as well. We can, try to find you a group of angel investors that would fit your mission,
Thank you.
right? So like that, yeah, that you guys can work together. I personally really feel that beyond the money, you should probably look for somebody who has an extensive network, somebody who can
I
call
totally
anyone
agree.
any moment, yeah, and they can just help you right away. I personally, again, don't really like investors to be hands-on because that's our job,
Yeah.
and yeah, and my